What's up, Backwoodsaholics? Nah, take two.
Today's video is all about chickens and some ducks and some guineas and everything else that we have here. Chickens are some of the easiest farm animals out there that we found so far. Some basic needs of the chickens are just feed, water, and shelter. Super easy, super convenient, great starter animal if you have littles. Oh, come on. They are really hungry. Take it in. I don't trust you.
Dump it. Dump it all.
Quit.
There you go. All right, get out of there. Attack of the chickens.
It's okay, honey.
Just push them out of the way. Come on, baby.
Save it for the ducks. So this is Dick. He's our copper Moran rooster. That is essentially what we breed here as for standard chicks and hatching eggs, things of that nature. He is kind of moody right now because it is the start of breeding season. So sometimes we have to just hold him and let him know who's boss. Here. Quit throwing it, baby. It's raining feed. So if you are looking to get chickens this year, we are NPIP certified, like I said before. We can ship. We only ship hatching eggs. So that is something that we can do. If you are looking to get chickens strictly to get the free eggs, 10 out of 10 do not recommend. It is not, they are not free eggs. They most of the time are freeloaders, especially during the winter. Just like any animal, they do take care, they do take time, and your eggs ultimately do not come out free. Yep, we'll get the eggs in it. We gotta dump the feed first, honey.
Oh, we got a bunch of eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Got a bunch in there.
Yeah, they're finally starting to lay again. Another part of our business is eating eggs. It's not a huge part, but we do sell them occasionally. Mostly we just raise the layer birds to feed ourselves, and the chickens for me are fun. They're kind of a hobby. So if you're looking for a hobby and something to do and to know where your food comes from, then I do recommend chickens. If you're just looking for free eggs, you're in the wrong place. Do you want to tell the funny chicken story on how we got started?
No, I'll let you do it.
So kind of a funny story on how we got started with our chickens is I actually didn't like birds. I hated birds. I didn't want them. I wanted nothing to do with them. And Wyatt so kindly one day just brought a bunch of them home and said, "We have chickens now." And I think my exact words to him were, "I will never take care of them. They will die before I take care of them." And how many birds did I come home with that spring from the farm store?
Oh, I don't even remember.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, now look at me. I'm catching the rowdy rooster and collecting more and more. So,
It's something so cute.
there's some eggs up there? Okay. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's
Set them down easy.
They are dirty right now because it is spring and it's muddy and everything's just a mess. I will let you down in a minute. Don't you look at me like that. He is trying to fly away. I'm going to let you out first. Go.
Bring him here so I can see him. See how many you got there. Whoa. You're rich.
Okay.
You get a ton of money for them things.
What is the worst part of having chickens in the winter, in your opinion?
Water, for sure.
The water? Yeah, the water is always freeze. It's terrible.
Well, and the eggs, you know, cracking and
what little eggs we get. My
get to 'em.
least favorite part of having chickens in the winter is having to go to the store and buy eggs and chicken feed in the same trip. That's awful. The other part is doing everything in the dark. That sucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely sucks. So chickens, part of the reason they quit laying in the winter is because they need adequate amount of light to stimulate their body to lay eggs. So in the winter, when there's shorter daylight, their egg production cuts down. They actually, their body goes through a molt in the fall, which turns their feathers and their body production from laying eggs to keeping their bodies warm to be able to survive the winter. Fun fact, the heat in the summer is actually worse for chickens than the cold in the winter, which is why we don't have any lights or anything out there for them. So back to kind of the mess that was the eggs. That is another reason why we allow our birds to kind of pasture or free range, because this time of year when everything's melting off and just muddy and gross, it helps not make it as bad because they have more room to be able to scavenge. Free ranging also helps us a lot in the summer because they actually pick all the bugs and forage. The guineas specifically are said to eat ticks tremendously. So they're just kind of nice to have around and clean everything up and keep it down to where it needs to be. Some super duper fun facts about chickens that you'll probably never need to know, but are kind of interesting. Chickens can actually recognize 100 faces. So they recognize people. They know who people are. Second interesting fact is chickens are actually the closest living relative to the dinosaurs. So that's kind of a cool thing. So we're pretty close to spring. So now we're gonna get the chicken tractor back up and ready to go for what our new big plan is. What are we doing with it?
Well, we're going to use it for meat birds like we initially intended. Last year it become a kind of a brooder in a way. After they come out of the TSC brooder we have, you know, they got too big for that. We kind of put them in here, and we had our breeding chickens in here too, kind of mixed them in. But so yep. Basically what I did here was the John Siskovich style chicken tractor. It's got wheels on the back of it back here. They're just some simple little tires that, you know, go on like a wheelbarrow type, you know, thing, and that way we can kind of scooch it along the ground a little bit easier. And then, so I went by all the instructions on this except for the top. You know, I didn't like the idea of having just a tarp. For one, a predator can get in easier, and for two, you're just having to replace tarps every year, and that's silly to me. So, granted, the only drawback about doing this is there's two things. It is expensive, and it does make it heavier, but in the long run, you don't have to mess with it again. So that's kind of why I went that way. But we'll show you the inside here. We got some nesting boxes back there out of some kitty litter containers. And then I just hung the water and the feeder by the A-frame part of this. This is, if you don't know, this is conduit, just electrical conduit. You just bend it, and that's what I screwed my tin into. So you were wondering how that was held on. But yeah, basically the framing and the conduit and all that is John Siskovich. I went and I purchased his book. For the most part, it's pretty good. I mean, there's some gray areas where I had to kind of improvise, but for the most part, it's a pretty informative, instructional book to build one of these. So we have not had one predator get into this, knock on wood. So I was kind of, on the fence with them, something be able to dig up under that, and we haven't had any problems with that, so that's good. I was gonna originally line it all, the whole bottom, so nothing could dig under it, but that doesn't really work because when your chickens are in here and you pull this along, you just break their legs. So
yeah, we can't have that.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out.
I don't know if it'll be this year, hopefully, but I'm trying to find an old wagon. I want to make a, kind of like Stony Ridge Farmer and Eggmobile, something that's a little more permanent than our chicken houses now. They're just sheds, but...
Yeah, but with any farm or homestead, you kind of have to use what you have, too.
Yep.
So, I mean, we recycled something that we weren't going to use for anything else and made it into something we could use.
Yeah, so we eventually we're going to get one. That way we can kind of move them around, and especially this time of year, they start mudding the area up that they're in, then you can kind of move them and just kind of keep the mud down a little bit. But for now, that's what we got. That's all right. It's how I've been doing it for years. So,
because we've been doing this for how long now?
What, 5, 6 years?
Oh, at least
6 years. Well, I've been doing it my whole life, but I've had chickens on and off, and
yeah, my first ever chickens didn't go very well.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching today, guys. If you have any more questions about any chickens, what we have to offer here on the farm, etc., be sure to drop it in the comments. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And anything else?
Nope. Hopefully we can bring you guys some more content, and now that it's starting to get warm out, so we'll be doing a lot more on the farm, so stay tuned.
See you later.